Welcome to the webinar series From Compliance to Competencies, brought to you by the Regional Centers for Workforce Transformation. My name is Letitia Comstock-Alcorn. I am the Self-Advocacy Consultant. Today's competency is Competency I, which is exhibiting professional behavior. This competency is important because this is a job, and you should be presenting yourself as a professional at all times. There are four important aspects of Competency I: professional demeanor, attention to punctuality, reliability and flexibility, and pleasantness. By doing so, the DSP enables the person being supported to feel important, and so that they can feel that they can rely on their DSP. We will go over how to utilize these skills more specifically, but first, let's start off with a scenario where we will apply our general knowledge of these basic skills. Keep the skills listed on the side or in mind as you listen to the scenario. You are my DSP, and you are supporting me while I go to college. You know that my professor makes me feel stressed, which could possibly lead to me having a seizure. Mike had planned to be with me during my final. This is the situation that I experienced with my DSP, Mike, and I will share with you how he reacted that best supported me. I was at college, and my philosophy professor really liked to pick on me because I was a Christian. He made me feel like I constantly had to defend my choice of faith and then prove its existence. It would sometimes make me feel so uncomfortable that I would become so stressed out that I would have a seizure. It got to the point that I would have a seizure before class because I knew he was going to make me feel attacked. Mike and I would meet before my class, and he began to see a change in my behaviors, attitude, and body language, all of which could lead to a seizure. Mike decided that we should change my time so he could sit in my class with me and help me stay calm and do better in class. When Mike saw what I was going through, we discussed a bunch of things I could do, from dropping the class to beating my professor at his own game. Mike would help me study better and be prepared for his class, so when he called on me to debate my viewpoint as a Christian, I was now ready. Mike also helped me study for my tests so I wouldn't have to take the class again due to me failing. When the time came for me to take my test, Mike would go to the academic center with me and would read my test to me. He was always pleasant and told me to take my time. Mike would do his best to try to give me as much time as I needed to take my test. Mike was scheduled for a mandatory training for CPR and first aid. The date of the training just happened to be the same day and time as my philosophy final. Mike went to talk to the training instructor and his supervisor and explain the situation. They decided to let Mike take part of the class in the morning and then just finish the next day. Mike stayed as long as he could, then left to come get me so he could sit in my class, then read my final to me. The next day, Mike completed his mandatory training of CPR first aid as was agreed upon with his supervisor. By Mike leaving the training early, he was able to get me to my final on time. In this way, he showed punctuality. Being on time to trainings and scheduled shifts with the people you are supporting is another way to show professionalism as a direct support professional. He also showed that I could rely on him because he showed up in the first place. I know I could count on him because he took the time to rearrange his training schedule. In this way, he demonstrated confidence in his role as a DSP, which is another sign of professionalism. He showed no signs of frustration over having to leave his training early. His pleasant attitude showed he was a professional. When he picked me up, he was cheerful and was telling me I got the test in the bag. His positive attitude and pleasantness helped keep me calm and helped me focus on my final. Of course, there are other ways a DSP can show professionalism. As a DSP, you can call me ahead of time and tell me that you may not be able to be there. If you call me ahead of time, you would be demonstrating that you are reliable because you took the time to call and give me the time to find someone else to help me during my final. How else could a DSP approach the situation? You could have helped me talk to my professor and explain the situation, and possibly set up a different test time. That worked for both of us. By responding this way, it showed that you were flexible. So those are just a few examples of ways we can demonstrate competency I. We can demonstrate this competency by being professional in our jobs. When supporting someone with a disability, remember that they need to be able to feel confident that you can and know how to be professional at all times, no matter what the circumstances are. We have developed an interactive activity to go along with this webinar. You can download this activity from our website, www.workforcetransformation.org. This is an exercise that can be completed with direct support professionals and their supervisors. It can promote or encourage a conversation to help you better understand your future as a DSP professional. Thank you for listening to this webinar on Goal 3, Demonstrating Professionalism, Competency I, Exhibiting Professional Behavior.